Hello and welcome to Your County. I'm your host, Lynn Turner Fitzgerald. Joining me today is Stoney Field, General Manager at MetraPark. Busy time of year for you, so I appreciate you being here. I know you got a lot of other stuff going on.
Absolutely, Lynn. It's truly a pleasure every time I get to come down to Community 7 and have a visit with you. So thank you for having me.
Even if I don't show up, right?
Right, exactly. No problem.
Okay, MontanaFair. This is a big year, the 110th year for MontanaFair.
Yes, ma'am. And we're in full mode of celebrating the 110 years, and in reality, the First Interstate Bank Arena is celebrating 50 years as well. So we have a culmination of a few things.
That astounds me. I didn't realize it had been 50 years.
Yes.
Wow. Now, when the fair originally started 110 years ago, it wasn't called MontanaFair, was it? Was it
No,
Midland Empire?
Midland Empire, yep.
Fair?
Yep, you
for
had
years,
that right. Yes.
I think.
Yep, that was
for
my
a long
understanding.
time. But things change.
Yep, we're rebranding as we go. This year, in the past, we have been the last best place of summer as our theme for the fair. This year, we're celebrating the 110 years, but as we move into the future, each year we're going to have a different theme to just keep everything moving and be more trending as to what the fair really brings.
Well, is it possible then that those themes could have a corporate sponsor, maybe?
You know, we really, our sponsorship is a phenomenal program.
Yeah.
My team this year exceeded their goal, and we didn't have an actual presenting sponsor for the fair. So that the folks that had done that with us previously, we just didn't have the time frame to be able to bring somebody else in. But that's something that's on our plate all the time.
Sure.
So corporate sponsorship is something that we strive for, but we also keep in our back pocket because we know that there's a ton of local businesses here in Billings as well as in Montana that can capitalize on the exposure of being a part of our fair. We bring over 200,000 people to our grounds over that 9 days. So that type of exposure, let alone what we do on social media, our websites, all of our pamphlets, posters, those kind of things, really helps folks know what businesses are in support of our fair. The corporate folks want to be involved, and if it's sensical in what we're looking for, then we'll happily take them on.
Good. Yeah, it is great exposure.
Absolutely.
I want to talk about the ag side of the fair for a minute and the competitions, the 4-H competitions. That's a big deal.
It really is, and one of the differences is we're not necessarily a county fair. We are to a certain extent, but we're not. So what we end up is that the rules vary enough that we can have competitors from all over the state. So you really are seeing the best of the best in the state of Montana when it comes down to everything from the beef to the pigs and chickens, goats, the whole 9 yards. You're going to see the best of the best, and that's something that we can be proud of here, and the competitors also can be very proud of the fact that they're competing against the elite in the state.
Yeah. I have an image in my mind of a young person hugging a cow that he's raised.
Sure.
And it's kind of sad because they're selling them, right?
Yep. So there is a livestock
goodbye.
sale. They really are. Having been in that world for a really long time, you notice when they're super young, there's a distinct difficulty that happens when they have that separation, because the steers are normally almost a year in advance. By the time they get them, because they have to train them, they're feeding them, they're trying to take care of them the best way to keep them in show quality. Some of the other animals, it's a little lesser, but not much. It's up to 6 months, 7 months, something like that. So they are creating a connection. Once they get a little longer in their career and understand that the sale is the part that helps them to actually fund the next year's event, then they have that recognition. And I think that one of the things that comes from ag is we all learn life and death, and those are the things that really create a mindset that is easier for them to deal with in the long haul. They know they put a lot of hard work into it, their hearts are into it, but you do see a realization of it. It's a goal that they're trying to make, and so yes, there's some difficult times, and I'm not going to say that there aren't tears in the barns.
They're like a pet almost.
And truly, these kids spend a tremendous amount of time. You don't realize that it's just like our Western world and the ranching world. They're up first thing in the morning, feeding them, grooming them, training them, because these steers, normally you don't just put a halter on them and they lead around like a docile animal. They've got to be started when they're calves, and really train them into being something that's safe for the kids to handle, as well as the availability to show them.
They outweigh those kids by quite a bit.
A lot, yes.
Okay. Now, you've got some pretty good entertainment this year.
Absolutely. We're very proud. This year, we were able to get all of our acts locked in very early. In fact, the earliest we've ever went on sale for any of our tickets.
Really?
And so we're very proud of our marketing team and our group to put that together. In fact, my marketing team today is already working on acts for 26 and have some really neat potentials. But we're proud of where we're able to get to. I mean, we've got 3 different artists that are going to, I think, the ticket sales have already proven out that folks are coming down and they want to see these guys, and so we're super excited. We've got different genres from comedy to hip hop to country music, so we're trying to cover the
with hip hop.
Okay.
Flo Rida?
Flo Rida has a
that
number of
opens
songs.
the fair, right?
Yep, opens the fair on Friday
Okay.
night. Yep. So that we haven't had an actual hip hop group here for a few months. Last year was a little shy on most of the events. We had an election year, and I think people were a little hesitant in spending their dollars. And what that does is flows to the artists who are a little hesitant on getting out on the road and creating expenses until they knew potentially what we were going to look like as a country based on presidents and things. So once that was decided, the phone started ringing. We have a number of huge concerts that are coming for this next year, which we're in a fiscal year of 26, which works a little differently than most people because it's not on the calendar year.
Right.
But we've seen a huge uptick in the folks that are looking to come to Billings.
Well, I'm wondering about the booking of these talents, because there's an awful lot of competition in Billings for musical acts and comedy acts and that sort of thing. And how do you avoid, doubling up on that person's presence in town?
Well, we're cognizant of the different venues. We just offer something that is completely different than the other venues. A lot of those are limited to about 1,500 people. We just had a concert here about a week ago, and we had 8,500 people in the building. Wow. So we are that secondary level. So when an artist would deem necessary to be over that threshold, then they're looking to us to be able to provide the venue for them.
Right. And their tour schedule, I think, plays into it too, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
They have to be around.
What folks don't understand is, I mean, a lot of these tours, we're talking sometimes a year to 18 months out in advance, because they're trying to line up all the cities that they're going to be coming to, what that program's going to look like, if they've just come out with new music or new sets, if you're a comedian. So a lot of that stuff is well in advance. We don't have somebody calling us 60 days out and saying, can you put a concert on?
Right.
That doesn't exist in our world whatsoever. Right. But as far as competition in town, we really are working back and forth. We do have a venue here in town that actually, when they're looking at a show that's too big for theirs, they come and actually produce it at our facility. Sure. So it's a symbiotic relationship for sure.
Yeah, that's nice. That's great. So Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias.
Yes.
He's the comedian?
He is.
Okay, and he's on the 9th of August.
Yep, and excuse me for just saying Fluffy, because that's usually how we refer to him. He's had Netflix specials. He's had, I think he played at Dodger Stadium for 80,000 people.
Oh,
so
wow.
He's well known. Has been here. It was before I came on as general manager. I think it was about 5 or 6 years ago he came, and there was a great reception to him then.
Yes.
They'd reached out. We've kind of played a little bit back and forth with him. We had some opportunities, and then this one finally came to fruition, and for fair, that we're really glad to be able to do it at fair as opposed to, outside of that time frame, just because we want to bring that type of entertainment to our fair to make it the best experience we can possibly make.
So if he played a baseball game, he's probably family friendly, I'm guessing.
For the most part, yeah.
Okay.
I think that you might have some innuendo that the adults will figure out, but for the most part, yeah. That's one of the best things about him is he's a very, very funny guy. I know that he's actually done a comedy show, like a sitcom type of show. So he's out there and really prides himself on being able to envelop a huge group of fans and not be selective based on his actual set.
Yeah. Oh, can we still get tickets?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
And then I wanted to ask you about Russell Dickerson with Nico Moon, which is August 10th. That's the headline entertainment.
Yep.
I know nothing about this.
Both of those guys are up and coming in the country genre.
Okay.
Russell Dickerson has a little more traction than Nico, and so Nico will be opening up for him. But overall, tremendous talent, and we're starting to see a lot of these younger country folks that are getting a following, and we're just really glad to be able to have him right now because we may not be able to afford him in a year or two. So we're super excited to bring that newer genre or the newer music to the folks.
Good. So your new rodeo grounds, I know you've been working on that for over a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 2 years? And it's almost done.
We will probably do our walkthrough next week, but all of the grandstands are in place, the rodeo equipment is in place, electrical, water, those kind of things. So now it comes down to the logistics of figuring out how we need to place all of the other things that go along. There's the rodeo Billings. That partnership with the Nile is going to be a phenomenal opportunity. I mean, we're going to be bringing a rodeo to Billings that it hasn't seen in decades. They'll have some of the very best animal athletes as well as cowboys and cowgirls who are all upper echelon in the PRCA, or the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association. The announcer for it is in the Hall of Fame. He's been announcing for close to 50 years.
And he's going to be here permanently?
Nope, just for our rodeo.
Oh, okay.
So it's the Rodeo Billings. That group has went out. They've found additional prize money. They went out and went out and contracted with the very best group of animal providers or stock contractors. All of the animals that you see here, you're going to see at the National Finals Rodeo. They've actually been there and competed there. So what that does is it draws the cowboys and cowgirls, because they know that they're going to be able to have competitive rides. They're going to be getting on the best animals possible, as well as the prize money has been increased. So we're expecting a huge turnout and really resetting rodeo in the Billings area to be of a quality that again, we haven't seen for decades here.
Well, now, is there an opportunity to have more rodeo activity? Now in the winter, probably not, but.
So this will be the first event that happens at the outdoor arena, and then from that point on through the season until, as you said, until weather gets us to a point where we can't utilize it, we're going to be open to different horse shows, barrel racings, team ropings, English riding. I mean, there's going to be a whole lot of different equine events that can happen there. We're really trying to recruit those smaller groups that haven't been able to utilize the indoor arena just because it's cost prohibitive. We have to bring dirt in, we have to take dirt out. There's just a lot of resources that go into actually utilizing that space for the equine events. So this is going to be a great opportunity for folks who compete living here in Billings, who are having to drive 300, 400, 500,000 miles to go compete at different locations. Now we're going to have that available here. When I first started speaking on it, I reached out to a couple of arenas here locally and said, I want you to understand that we're trying to move towards something bigger, and I don't want you to feel like we're trying to be in competition with you, and would really like to hear your point. And all of them resoundingly said, we need it here.
Really?
We don't have the capacity. They didn't have the capacities to do the larger events, and they know that we need to be able to recruit those and promote and bring those events. So we're super excited about, we've got to get the first one under our belt and then see what the rest of this season looks like. But I anticipate some folks coming in and utilizing that space once they've seen it. I mean, you see it now driving by on the road, but until your feet are on the ground right next to it, you don't actually even understand the expanse. Our grandstands are going to hold 3,400 people.
Okay.
Then with VIP and tents and things like that, we've got a significant opportunity to create an awesome rodeo and memories for people for years to come.
Well, what would be the nearest outdoor arena with that capacity?
With our capacity, probably, I think that you could look into Livingston. I mean, the smaller communities have that sizing, and they're able to utilize that, but they're not as much of a reach as far as the spectators coming to them. It's more local. Red Lodge will be able to put plenty of those people, and that's a famous, legendary rodeo itself. We want to be able to be just another stop for those folks that while they're in our local vicinity.
Yeah. Well, is it kind of like the entertainment circuit? You know, when you're talking about comedians and musical groups, is rodeo kind of the same way?
Rodeo is actually worse.
Oh.
There's folks that will probably hit 5 or 6 rodeos in a 2-day period, and that might be from somewhere in Wyoming to here to Canada to Oregon and back. I mean, it's constantly on the road. There's a short window because their season ends on September 30th, so which qualifies them for the National Finals Rodeo. So right now we're kind of at that tail end of it, where folks are trying to get as many of those rodeos under their belt, try to win as much money as they can to move up in those standings so that they can qualify. So the funny thing is that Cowboy Christmas is a term for the 4th of July because there is a significant number of facilities that have their rodeos on the 4th of July weekend. The irony is that this year, this week of our fair rodeo is actually the busiest rodeo week of the entire season for the PRCA. So we're excited to just fall into that loop, and hopefully we have some tremendous athletes are going to be here, and we have a great show that I think that the folks are going to be proud to be from Billings once they see what we're going to put on.
Nice. So you have 3 rodeo Billings dates, the 14th, 15th, and 16th, each starting at 7 p.m. Is that right?
And that's a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Yeah. So does gate admission get you into the rodeo, or is it separate?
So it's actually in reverse, much like our concert. The concert ticket gets you into the fair.
Okay.
So the rodeo ticket will also get you into the fair, and then we have separate gate admissions for those days that those events aren't going on. This year has been an unprecedented year. We've put on multiple flash sales. We've had a lot of giveaways. So the opportunity to have gotten some fair tickets along the way has been going on practically all year.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Takes a whole year, and you're already into next year.
Yes.
Can you drop us any hints for next year? Okay. Just, you have to ask. You do.
My team is scared all the time that when I sit down that I might actually let something out. But no, we're obligated on the promoters and the booking agents that they don't want something out there until there's a rock solid contract in place. Sure. And you can understand that we wouldn't want to run anybody off. So the last thing we want to do is put ourselves in jeopardy with those groups because they're the ones who are helping us to benefit from the different concerts that are actually routed through here.
For sure. For a lot of people, the fair means one thing, and that is fair food. And I know you probably don't get too deep in the weeds with the food, but is the Viking on a stick still going to be around?
I believe so.
Good.
And it's funny that you say that because that percentage is probably higher than you imagine. I know that there's a lot of folks who that's that's their entirety. They come in and they want their corn dogs or Viking on a stick or corn cobs or I mean all of it. The fair food is something that
dipped in chocolate. I mean,
absolutely,
whatever. Yeah,
absolutely. I have to admit that I work every day there during the fair, and it's pretty hard to to not fall into the temptations of a lot of those things, because if I weren't walking it off, I probably would gain a significant amount of weight during that week.
Sure. So I'm curious now, for the food vendors, can you purchase with a debit card, or is it all cash?
Yep. Everyone is set up.
Everybody's set up.
Yep.
Okay. So you don't have to worry about bringing a bunch of cash.
And this year for our carnival, they're moving towards a more electronic situation, and they have RFID bands that you basically put your dollar amount on that, and then it's reduced each time that you go through the gate. Normally it's been in tickets.
Yeah.
They're kind of in a hybrid this year, and then we'll probably move towards all electronic as we go to the future. And speaking of that, last year our Ferris wheel was a little over 60 feet, and this year we're going to have one that's 110 feet. So it's going to be immense. You'll be able to see the Ferris wheel for quite a distance this year. So we're super excited about that.
You enjoy that. I will not be on it.
Fair enough.
110 feet.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, my God. Now, tell me about the community stages. Is that local groups coming in and performing?
And we've had those applications out for quite a while. They just closed. So that's the point, is that we really wanted to make fair about all the things that you mentioned, but I also wanted us to focus on what the kids, they're the animals in the 4-H community stages. There's plenty of local groups of people that are going to be able to come down, showcase their talent. Their families can come down and enjoy them doing that in a really, really nice setting. So the community stage was something that as a team we really wanted to move forward with and be able to bring more people down and get their opportunity to be a part of a fair, as opposed to just buying a ticket and coming in.
And those are free, right?
Correct.
And I think those stages stay pretty busy all day, don't they?
Yes.
One after the other. And then there are other acts on the midway, roaming the midway, that are not local. They're professional, but they're also free.
Right. So your ticket gets all of the things that you just had mentioned. The terminology for that is a strolling act.
Okay.
And so the reasoning is because they're moving through the crowd at all times. They're not necessarily always on a stage or in one specific spot. They will do that, but in their off times they're moving around. So in the past you've seen people on stilts, and you've seen people doing balloon animals and magic tricks and things like that. So we really try and maintain that, because it's great for the kids. It's the ability for them to be engaging all the time. We've got some tremendous talent, so we're super excited about all of our what we call our stage acts, as well as the strolling acts.
There's always something to see. Let's talk about the carnival provider. Who is it?
So it's Thomas Carnival, and that's who has been with us for, gosh, well before I ever got here. They did this year, they took on a partner. That partner does a lot of the big fairs, like in Minneapolis. So that's where the additional rides are going to come in. They're really, it's a unique company that's been in business for over 100 years, and they just really wanted to solidify their future. So the other company owns a manufacturing plant for rides, as well as they do repairs and refurbishing. So that's obviously a really easy choice when you're in that business, to team up with somebody who has some core competencies in the areas that you utilize anyway. So we're super excited. I could probably let you in on a secret that it sounds like they're going to try and get us a 2-story roller coaster for 26. So we're going to get a few rides moving forward that we haven't had in the past.
Nice. And Thomas Carnivals have really good reputation.
Absolutely. They'll be in Great Falls before they come here. So they're, again, they've been in business for almost 100 years. It's pretty hard to stay in that if you aren't doing things right. They're super safe. They're just knowledgeable folks, and it's a pleasure when they're on grounds, because everybody's so hospitable, and they really it's a group that we take pride in partnering with.
Good. All right. cost of the fair? Do you have deals, packages?
There's packages all the time. We have different free days for kids and for veterans, but otherwise it's a $12 ticket for adults and $8 for kids. But along the way, there are different. If you get onto the website, stay on social media, you're going to see that there's deals and specials that are going on all the time. So with the concerts, with the rodeo, that entry fee is taken care of within that ticket price. But if you're just coming down for the fair, we are going to have the lunch bunch deal. So it's $5 to get in from 12 to 5 during the week, Monday through Friday.
Oh, nice.
So.
Okay. We just have a couple of minutes left, but I think we also need to talk about security.
Mm-hmm.
Who's on the grounds?
So we team up with the county sheriff's department.
Okay.
But we also will have officers from the Billings Police Department, from the Highway Patrol, parole and probation. The year before I got here, there was an instance that regarded that we needed to utilize a different methodology in the security. We implemented that on my very first year. We maintained that last year, so we're kind of going with the same idea of making sure that there's a good presence so everybody feels safe, and it's going to avert a lot of problems.
Well, I know the first year there was a huge law enforcement presence when they came on, and there were some complaints about that, but personally I welcomed it. I felt like we were really being taken care of.
Well, and I think that you're going to have both sides of that.
Of course.
The one reason for a huge uptick that year was that there had been some intelligence that there were some local folks who wanted to do some nefarious acts, and the law enforcement group, first responders, decided, let's come in here with a big presence. We're going to avert that, and it feels like that unless something like that were to occur, we're going to maintain a heavy presence, but nothing that's going to interfere with people's enjoyment of the fair.
Okay. Well, that's a lot. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. I always appreciate being able to come down here and speak with you, and your interest in what we're doing down at MetraPark is truly something that I appreciate.
Well, I'll see you at the fair.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right.
Thanks again, and
Thanks.
thank you for joining us on Your County. We'll see you next time.